So I'm just starting to record this this conversation and this meeting. So I think we can start. Okay. So hello everyone. I'm thrilled to be talking to you today. This is my first time at Summit, and I'm very excited for this opportunity. I can speak Spanish, so I'm a little bit of Portuguese as well. So if you prefer to make a question even in Spanish or Portuguese, that's all right. My name is Diego Barreto. I'm he's pronounced. I work at Baker Hughes in a role as Region Alliances and Enterprise Sales CFO for South America region, which includes Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Uruguay, and Venezuela. I'm based in Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina. And this meeting is to tell you about the story of our ERG in Latin America. So myself and Carla will present to you our experiences in Baker Hughes. I think Carla disconnected. She might be having any technical issue, but she will join. Oh, Carla, you're there.
I'm here.
Okay. Carla, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, thank you, Diego. So, hello, everyone. Hello, Out and Equal folks. I'm Carla Modesto. I'm so excited to be here with you today to have this conversation and share benchmarkings, new ideas with you, and also hear from you guys as well about your own experience. I'm based in Brazil. I work for Baker Hughes as a talent acquisition manager for LATAM, and I'm based in Rio de Janeiro. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a lesbian and I am a wife. Also, I have a dog that is also like my daughter. So I'm a mother of a pet. And it's really, really important, this moment for us here. It's my first time as well in the Out and Equal session and forum. And I hope that you enjoy this session and we can all share real experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carla. I'm just to complete, my introduction. I'm a gay person as well, and I'm married. Actually, I met my husband I think it will be 21 years in November that we are together, and 10 years since we got married. So, and I also I'm a father of a dog who actually today is his second year birthday. So we are going to celebrate, after this meeting. Well, so the story of our ERG starts back in March 2020. Loretta Bersani, our HR champion, called me to discuss about opening a hub exclusively for Buenos Aires. And the idea was that it would be the foundation stone to lately open more hubs in other countries in the region. Our discussion was centralized on the small number of members subscribed to private work, which is how Baker Hughes called the ERG, which is dedicated to promote and generate awareness of the LGBTQ+ community in the company. At that time, only 10 employees were subscribed to private work and located in Argentina, out of a total 1,600 employees. So less, about 1.2% of the total population. And actually, the entire Latin American region was in a similar shape. With 100 members subscribed to private work, they represented about 1.6% of the total population of employees. And maybe it was quite expected due to our industry. Nowadays, Baker Hughes is an energy technology company playing a leader role in the energy transition. However, the origin of the main sub-businesses located in Latin America and with the main operations in Latin America come from a historical service provider player in the oil and gas market, very focused on the oil field services. So if you add oil and gas industry plus a general culture of male chauvinism and Catholicism, you get a beautiful receipt for, you know, so there's a small members following and interested on the LGBTQ plus themes. So we started thinking the first event in Buenos Aires, and that was held on April 20. A sexual diversity seminar provided by Francisco Carruter from the Secretary of Human Rights and Cultural Pluralism of the city of Buenos Aires. And I believe Francisco is not even aware of the impact of such first event. The event was originally prepared to be delivered in person, with the city of Buenos Aires providing a sticker to paste in the office, showing our commitment with diversity. But COVID-19 pandemic was just starting, and the Argentina government declared a full lockdown. Actually, I'm not sure if you are aware, I should open parentheses maybe here, but Buenos Aires hold the record as the city with the largest lockdown in the globe until 2 days ago. On October the 4th, Melbourne passed us and took the first place with 245 total days in lockdown. So, but I'm just closing parentheses for that specific data. So we were in lockdown. And I talked to other 3 Argentine employees that wanted to participate and start promoting the ERG. Their names are Alejandro, Cecilia, and Paula. And we decided to provide the seminar online. And when it became online, the decision to extend it to other countries was pretty easy. Given my role that covers for almost all the South American countries speaking Spanish, so excluding Brazil, we talked to Francisco and he from the government of Buenos Aires, and he was okay to include employees from Colombia, Venezuela, Chile, Ecuador, and Peru. And it was a hit. The seminar, that was the first time, that was the very first time in which Baker Hughes were providing a seminar talking about sexual diversity and in the company with the whole employees. And it was very well received by the audience, with a lot of participants, many questions. It was great. So we started thinking of the next event, celebrate the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia on May 17. So the HR leader from Mexico heard about the seminar provided in April, and she called me saying, Diego, if you're preparing online events to cover for the South American countries, please include Mexico as well, so you can gather the whole Spanish-speaking Latin American countries. It makes totally sense. And also Carla heard about the seminar because they knew the brand new Buenos Aires Hub and the sexual diversity seminar was mentioned in an event hosted in English by the Global Private Work ERG. And Carla contacted me, and given her prior experience with Cargill, she introduced William Ramos to me, a person with a large experience as diversity and inclusion consultant, who could actually speak Spanish and Portuguese. And that was exactly what we needed at that time to extend the Buenos Aires hub to cover for the entire Latin America, including Brazil, including Mexico, and performing events in 2 languages, right? Spanish and Portuguese. So William helped me to drive not only the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia in May, but also Pride Month events during June. The Baker Hughes Global Pride Work delivered events in English and English only, but we also made some actions in Portuguese for Brazil, Spanish for the rest of the Latin American countries. And such events were really special. William is a genius, and he managed to touch the audience heart. And learning from our prior experience, we dedicated time to recruit members. You know, we show how to subscribe to the ERG online, because there is a system which is, you know, it's general, established by the company, but it's not really friendly or intuitive. So we explained it during the events and pumped. You can see you can see in the slide, our membership grew to 148 employees subscribed to private work and located in Latin America. And you know, the rest is just flow story. From that moment, we decided to take actions in both languages, and you can read the actions: LGBT Youth People Support in August, Trevor Day, Youth Suicide Prevention in September, Coming Out Day in October, for which we prepared a lovely video with some members from the ERG explaining how they felt when coming out, and we compiled the different reaction and emotions in a single video that was really, caused a huge impact. So big that the global ERG decided to, we added subtitles in English, and it was published for not only for Latin America, but for the company around the world, and distributed globally. And we partnered to other ERGs such as Wellbeing and Women Network to celebrate the World AIDS Day, December, and then during this year, Transgender Visibility Day in March, and a lot of other events that I'm not mentioning because are basically the same. But we include Asexuality Visibility Day, Bisexual Visibility Day, and but in April 21st, 1 year after the hub in Latin America was created, we doubled our membership, and that was amazing. And while our membership was growing, our internal team helping in the events grew as well. Thanks God, because otherwise, and I open parentheses again, otherwise I would have to resign to the CFO role and fully dedicated to private work, because delivering almost one event per month takes a lot of time on communication, discussing with HR, and preparing what we are going to deliver. It's really time consuming. So, and Carla, for sure it will be the same for you. You will not be able to manage the whole events and continue being the talent acquisition leader. So we had a really good team that I'm going to show you once I can. Oh, it's over there. Our team is really special, full of millennials and centennials with great energy and enthusiasm. Just for, I'm opening a parenthesis again, our average age is about 30 years old, and I'm 41. So I'm inclining, and I'm just far away from this majority team of people on their 20s. So they make me feel quite old, but anyway. So I'm closing parentheses, and the highlight here is that we managed to drive events almost on monthly basis in both languages. So there are actually 2 events. Some of them were so good, and I'm not telling it with a superficial vanity, but we are proud of that team, because they do magic, and they are really whom deserve the credit for the success of the ERG. So some of the events were so good that the larger global private work, global ERG, decided to extend the event to the rest of the world, as I mentioned before. One of our last events that was to honor the Bisexual Visibility Day in September was actually prepared by 2 people that you can see over there. One is Victoria in Brazil in the last line, and the other one is Paula in the second line in Argentina. They both in their 20s, prepare a text which was really powerful and inspiring, and made a lot of great design in terms of colors, pictures, and so. And that was that great that once we let the global ERG know that we were posting that in Spanish and Portuguese, they decided to also translate it to English, Italian, and French. Impressive, right? I was telling Victoria and Paula that I really don't know in person any other person that have wrote something that was lately translated to 5 languages, and distributed globally. So this is our team now, our leadership team in Latin America. 22 members distributed across 12 different cities in 5 different countries. Actually, 4 countries in the region, plus one that we accept because we love him, who is Ricardo Portillo. He's a Venezuelan guy living in the US, and we accept him as he is. All this group is serving 223 members that are currently subscribed to private work in Latin America, which is about 3.5% of the total employees. So when we started, we were 100, and about 1.6% of the employees. Now we are 3.5% of employees. Long way to go. I think that we still have to continue growing. And I really do not know what is the standard for a company in the oil and gas industry and in Latin America. But in general, 3.5 is what Baker Hughes is performing at global level. There are some regions which are a little bit higher, but average, I think last time I checked, average was 3.3% of the total Baker Hughes employees subscribed to private work. Latin America is quite above that average. But again, long way to go. I would like to have at least 10% of the employees subscribed. But good thing is that now we also have a solid platform to jump off from the online and start having in-person events. And that team is not yet aware, because actually I'm going to tell them in a meeting that we will have as a staff meeting that we are holding tomorrow, that for 2022, we are going to start planning events in person in the different premises. So to conclude, and also if I recap and try to highlight what has driven us to the current scenario, is that we are part of a great company. Take a look at our values. The Baker Hughes values are lead, that is defined as make, invent, and perform with impact. Care, defined as do the right things always for our customers, our people, and for the environment. Grow, meaning see challenge as opportunity and learn every day. And collaborate, which means inspire, be inclusive, and bring out the best in each other. So Baker Hughes has a strong commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And our executive leaders continuously reinforce the importance of a diverse culture to succeed as a company. For instance, if you look into LinkedIn, there will be tons of posts from Baker Hughes leaders during Pride Month, just telling what they were, because there was a campaign, a global campaign, that challenged us to learn something different, something new. And our leaders took it seriously. Number 2 is that we have a strong LGBTQ+ employees and allies. And it's an energized group to develop activities and spread the word, creating awareness. Both, we have 2 levels, a global private work leadership team that I can ensure they are really, really inspiring, and also we have the local Pride at Work Latin American hub that I have just talked before, how proud I am of them. Number 3 is localization. If you want to drive membership growth and reach to the employees, you have to think local, and you have to take actions in local language, trying to adapt the actions to local customs. That really makes the difference. A field service employee located in the middle of the Amazonas will not likely join a Pride at Work online event. But if he or she does, it will be, if it is in Portuguese or Spanish, because the Amazonas, even when most of the Amazonas is located in Brazil, Amazonas reach other countries as well. So, and that's similar thing for all the remote operations in other zones. About 80% of Baker Hughes employees in Latin America works in factories and field services in remote locations. Less than 20% is located in fancy premises in the larger cities, such as Rio de Janeiro, Mexico DF, Buenos Aires, or Bogota. So most of them are in other remote areas, small towns in the middle of nowhere. And the number 4 is ERG connections. We found that joining efforts and intersectional events with other ERGs, such as Women Network, Enable, in Baker Hughes, we have 8 different ERGs, but in Latin America, only 6 are active. So that intersectionality reinforces the idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion, while promoting tolerance and awareness of the challenges faced by minorities. And the last one, I think roles, responsibilities, and clear calendar of events. It's really important because all of us have main roles to cover for, meaning the ones we are paid for. So time efficiency matters. I think that's all. So Carla, I don't know if anybody has any question. You can unmute yourself and shut the question, or you can write it down in the chat with no problem. So I can see Fabricio, you have a question.
Yes, I do. Hi, my name is Fabricio Alcázar. I work for Experian in Costa Rica. And it's inspiring to hear what you're just explaining, how the membership grew over time. I'm the leader of the ERG chapter here in Costa Rica. And as you said in the beginning, we have a very Catholic and chauvinistic culture in Latin America. So my question is, what were like some of the specific actions that allowed you, besides throwing an event every month, that allowed you to grow the membership and have the employees engaged?
Okay, thanks for your question. Well, I think that what it was key is to deliver events that were online. And we, in order to, as there are many ERGs in the company, in order to avoid the whole employees receiving a lot of, tons of emails or invites to online events, we agreed with the rest of the ERG to separate which are the main events for each ERG in the year. So for example, for us, June is a really special month because it is Pride Month. But there are others. We decided to have Transgender Visibility Day, Lesbian Visibility Day, Pride Month, and the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia as the main month in which we're not going to have actions dedicated only to the people which were already subscribed, but extend to the whole employees in the region. And during those events, we were dedicating time to explain how to subscribe. And we also include trivias and other funny things with awards in order to stimulate the participation and the learning. And I think that was the main key. And then a great support from our leaders, which are all, we have always an executive leader appearing in our events and participating in our events. And that was also, you know, encourage people to participate.
Diego, if I may add something to this, to your answer, I would say also that last year, we had a communications team in Brazil. They called Brazil employees Q&A about the ERGs, which I participated as well. So in this session, all employees from Brazil were able to ask questions about the ERGs, how they were done, how they can participate, how is the member participation, the ally participation. So in this forum, specific forum, I saw that a lot of people started to be curious about it, started to be interested. And we got a lot of members on this as well. So participating not only in our own events, but others events, like to partner with HR, to partner with communication, or in other leadership forum, to present ourselves is also very important for us in this initiative.
Yeah. Thanks, Carla. Not sure if any other question. I don't know, I cannot see the chat right now, but if any in the chat, we can address it later. So Carla, just I will pass the ball to you. So you can talk about our HR best practices.
Yes, thanks, Diego. I think there are other questions, and we can, maybe I can respond during my part, or if not, we can also talk in the end. I see some more questions here. But well, so I'm going to share with you guys the HR initiatives that we are having in Baker Hughes, so we can be a more inclusive company, right? So we all know that HR is a very important enabler and partner for DEI in our companies, right? A company can only be inclusive for LGBTQ community if has clear policies and guidelines to pass these values to the employees, right? So with that said, I'd like to share some practice that we have. There is not all of them here, but the key, most important ones that maybe you also have in your company. And if not, you can get the benchmarking from us and connect later on to get to know more about that as well. So starting with onboarding, their first days in the company, the employees are very encouraged to join the ERG, any ERG that they identify. And we are able to share about pride at work, to show them that here in Baker Hughes is a place for them to be themselves, and also to respect others. If they are not the LGBTQ members, they will also be able to know that it's a value for us to respect others' sexual orientation, right? So this is very key for us in these first days that the employee joined Baker Hughes. And thanks for Pride at Work, our ERG in Baker Hughes, we can make a difference in so many lives that we cannot imagine, right? I can tell you some examples in a while I talk to you about these policies and guidelines. We have a few examples of success stories to tell you that it really makes a difference in their lives, right? For example, I'm talking about policies. We have the parental leave policies that support LGBT employees to adopt a child or to even have a child on their own and spend proper time with their families, right? Like a heterosexual couple, for example. We have a global policy also.
Carla, just
Yes.
let me interrupt you, because
Sure.
that policy will include everybody despite the sexual orientation and the type of couple it is, and it will be equal for everybody. Even if it is, let's say, a grandfather that become a guardian of his I don't know, granddaughter, that would be exactly the same. So despite the gender and despite the type of couple, if it is heterosexual, homosexual, or whatever, it does not matter, because the policy will be focused on the guardian and the child that needs to be take care of. So that's a great thing, you know, that will hopefully it will be implemented in January next year.
Yeah, thanks, Diego, for this comment. And talking about global policy, this will help very much us to guide the person to their families and to this during their license, right, with the child and or the person that they adopt. And with that, also we can take a look at the transition policy that we have. There's a guide where a global guide where a person going through a transition will have clear guidelines on how to get prepared for this moment, so important moment of their lives, and also how they will understand how to communicate to the customers. There is a guide on how to do it and to communicate with their teams with the support of HR and their managers. So this is a very important policy that will help and guide the person that will go, a transgender that will go into the transition phase during this moment of change, right? And here I can tell you a real example that we have in one of the countries of Latin America, where a transgender employee that made his decision to transition after he felt comfortable with all of the actions that the company is doing and the ERG also is doing. He felt so comfortable and safe that he decided to go through a transition. His decision was made after he felt that he is safe here, and if he do it, everyone will support him, and then and his leader also support him, right? It was a great example.
Carla, let me add, as I'm seeing Jessica, who worked for ExxonMobil, she will understand for sure. Can you imagine a person who is going through his gender transition and needs to go and work in offshore oil platforms for a national oil company, so a company belonging to a government, in a country where machismo is I mean, we are raised in the middle of machismo, so it's and that person decided to go and go in his transgender journey. So it is really important to work in a company that helped on during the whole transition, supporting not only peers, managers, HR, customer. So it was really important.
Yeah, that's true, Diego. And not only full-time employees are being benefited by this. We have an example of a contractor that felt so good in the company because of our, we show how our values are about respectful environment, and our events. He got so excited that he wants to be part of Baker Hughes. He just contacted talent acquisition team to get to know how he can apply to one of the positions that we have in Baker Hughes. So this is a good sign that we are in the right path, right? To really be a place where all employees, or regardless of sexual orientation or gender orientation, can feel free to express themselves like they really are, right? So it's so good to see this example. And also, we have a direct ethic line that all employee can anonymously report any situation with anyone in the company that made, for example, made them feel uncomfortable or discriminated somehow, and they can open a ticket to compliance anonymously, and a member of a global compliance team will investigate and give a treatment and feedback to the employee about the actions taken at the end, right? So to be sure that we will not tolerate discrimination in our company. So this really makes me proud to work in Baker. One of the things that also are new to us, and it's implementing right now, is the self-ID, which will voluntarily collect sexual orientation and gender information from candidates and employees. So answer to a question down, I think that made a question on how to track, right? How many LGBTQ employees we have or candidates. So this is how we are going to track, right? Very soon, and I believe in some countries like US, we already have, right, Diego? We already tracking this. We started to track this information, right?
Yeah, there are a couple of countries such as the US, Australia, and a couple of countries in Europe as well, UK and Netherlands, for sure, that in which this is already implemented, and we are working to extend it to the whole Latin America. Actually, Argentina, Mexico, and Brazil are already approved, but the idea is to get the approvals during this week or next week in order to extend the implementation to the whole countries in our region.
Yeah, and this will bring a lot of benefits to us, to our employees, to our company. That some of the benefits that this could bring to us is this position the organization as LGBTQ inclusive companies with clients, customers, and other external stakeholders, track the recruitment, retention, and promotion of LGBTQ individuals more effectively, decrease turnover of LGBTQ employees, reducing replacement costs. So there's a lot of benefits to that simple thing, just to add an option in the system to disclose this kind of information, right? To track, to measure, and to take actions, right? Because without information, without proper data, we are blind, right? We cannot take a specific and concrete actions if we don't have data. So this is going to be very, very important. And in addition to that, they alter their names with their preferred names on badges, systems, and email. It's possible to do that in some countries where the legislation can provide this, such as Brazil, for example. But any country, you can go and you can alter your name to your preferred name or nickname in the system, the HR system. And for the last thing I want to talk, I know that we have only 17 minutes. I want to give a space to everyone to tell and talk about anything or ask questions. I'd like to share with you about talent acquisition space, which is my space, right? We are now focusing a lot on our efforts in partnering with stakeholders to hire transgender in Argentina specifically. I don't know if you are aware of if there is anybody else here from Argentina that knows that in Argentina there's a new law which gives tax incentives to private companies. Actually, it was a public sector initiation, right, where they have to hire 1% of employees, public employees for as transgender as a quota. But if you, as a private company like we are, we can also get incentives to as we hire transgender, which is very, very important. And with this, we are partnering with Contrata Trans to be able to post our positions there and to call transgender people to be part of Baker Hughes as well. And this is only the beginning to reinforce that we can be the employer of choice for LGBTQ people and community. So I'm very proud to say that, because this is kind of projects that I'm really motivated to do, because it changed lives, right? This is a kind of project that really will change lives. And as a lesbian, I believe that this is so important to have this kind of policies that we're talking about now, and clear guidelines that it states the company's values to the employees, right? And I can testify myself, just to finalize here with you guys, that working in a company that respects you for who you are and accept your way of expression is a place where anyone can thrive. In my experience in the past, before I went out of the closet, I felt so worried about what to say and what I was going to tell to my colleagues, my boss. Simple things like, how am I going to tell what is going to be my partner's name? I need to reinvent. I need to find out a male name. And sometimes I say the opposite, and I say another name. I was saying another name. So it was kind of exhausting for me. So clearly my productivity were not good. When I joined a company that clearly states that I can be who I am, I felt so comfortable that I could express, and my performance improved like 200%. So it's amazing. It's amazing what the company values and the ERGs and everything that we're talking here can make a difference in a person's life. So to conclude, that I'd like to say that I'm very proud of being here today, and proud to see so many companies supporting the cause of our community. And I'm very happy that we are able to make a difference in each company somehow, and we can save lives, right? So thank you for the space and opportunity to share with you, and I hope that we can learn and connect to each other during this event and after that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Carla. And let's go and try to address the questions that we have during the time. But before going that, I mean, I'm based in Argentina, Carla is based in Brazil. You can look for our contacts, and for those that are located in Latin America, let's try to do actions all together. And that it's something that could work. And while we improve our networking, we can also extend our, share best practices and continue learning from each other. So feel free to look for our contacts and just send us an email. So just going through the questions. Well, first one was already addressed by Carla. Thanks for all, the congratulations and good comments. There's a question here which says, are there any anti-LGBT law or legislation in LATAM that you have to contend with at Baker Hughes? Actually, there is no. We have a lot, it depends on the country, because every country is different, but we have most of the countries already protect the equality and the sexual orientation and gender diversity, and it's allowed and approved and protected, actually protected by law. But there are some others in which are like gray. The law says nothing. So if there is any discrimination, there's no penalty for that. So it depends on the country, but there's no law against our community. So that's address all the questions in Paytable, but let me check in Zoom. So let me just 1 minute. The membership team are more concentrated at the office employees or office team. How is this shared? I mean, we have, as I show, I'm going to put the slide where we have. If you see, I'm in Buenos Aires in the main offices in Buenos Aires. Cassandra is in Mexico, DF, also in the main premises there. Marina is in Campinas, Brazil. That's not the main office in Brazil. Actually, it's a plant, a manufacturing plant. Ana is in Monterrey, another office. Carla, Rio de Janeiro, that's the main offices in Brazil. Brian is in Macaé, it's a manufacturing plant. Well, I can follow. Here we have Christian in Neuquén, which is in what is called Vaca Muerta, a province in Argentina, where the most of the unconventional reservoirs are. We have Sandira. I mean, there is a mix. And in Colombia, Villavicencio is also a manufacturing site. So it's a mix, but still, I quite of main, if it is not the first one, it's the second larger office in the country, except for Brazil, in which we have a team which is distributed in other facilities as well. But that's the next step. We have to go to the remote locations. Carla, good for you. Onboarding idea is excellent.
Diego,
yeah.
I see a very interesting question here from Danielle. Any techniques or recommendations on translating activities and trainings from offices to the people in production lines? So the people in the plant, right? The people that maybe do not have access to computers, laptops, or cannot participate in our online events, right? This is our maybe next step. Maybe you want.
Exactly. Now we started the ERG during the pandemic. Therefore, everything was managed online, and the in-presence activities were very reduced to something that was vital for the business continuity. Otherwise, they were suspended. We still are there because we cannot have any in-person meeting yet. However, we've seen that with the vaccination, while vaccination progress across the different countries, for example, in Argentina, we are thinking to return to the office maybe in January. There was originally planned for November, now it was postponed. It's the same thing on the other countries. So once we are able to come back to the office, that is the next thing that we will start addressing, which is delivering in-person meetings in the remote locations and manufacturing sites, service sites as well. And I think that's all. There's no other question. No. Well, thank you very much for all of you to connect. I'm really happy to be here and to show you that is possible. Still a lot way to go and a lot to do, but let's continue making the life of our LGBTQ plus people better, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.